Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Karen and today I will be reviewing Pages for You by Sylvia Brownrigg and Call Me by Your Name. So these are two books that I read recently, and the reason why I decided to do a combined book review for both of them is because I feel like they are incredibly similar. They have a lot of the same themes, a lot of the same structure. The plot kind of follows the same road in a way, and they are kind of like the female and male version of the same story. And I was really moved by both of these books and I really enjoyed them, and I think that there are two books that everybody should read. So some of the similar themes that this book has is that they're both LGBT stories. They both have a young narrator who's reflecting back on a love that is no longer there. They both talk about relationships between a younger person and an older person. They really are both a celebration of self-discovery, a celebration of love, a celebration of sexuality, and they both are written in such beautiful So I'm going to start with talking about Pages for You because that is the first out of the two that I read. It is also the one that I gave 3 stars to, while I gave Call Me by Your Name 4 stars? No, I gave Call Me by Your Name 5. So Pages for You follows Flannery, who is this young girl who has moved away to go to college, and one day she's at a diner and she meets, well, she doesn't really meet her, but she sees a beautiful woman for the first time whose name is Anne, and she immediately locks eyes with her and just falls head over heels in love with her. So this book really is about a relationship. It is not really about anything else. It follows a relationship between Flannery and Anne, who is this older woman, from beginning to end. The way that the book is written is in these like very little bits. So as you can see, the chapters, it doesn't even have chapters really, it's just sections, and each one almost deals with a different thing, and that's something that I really enjoyed about this book. I think that this book celebrates the little moments that I don't think a lot of other books reflect on and a lot of other books focus on. Like, for example, you have little bits here about showering with someone for the first time, about what it's like to call someone a nickname, how weird it feels to sleep next to a significant other for the first time and really just sleep, which is such an intimate thing. Pages for You is also beautifully written and really easy to read, and it's almost really like compact. You can read this in one night, one sitting. That's what I did. An example of really beautiful writing is this: I plan to learn enough to read you like a book. I plan to give this book to you and know you'll read it, so our minds may meet across the pages, in the colorful country of another writer's language, where we can flourish in the knowledge that we are learning how to speak to one another, and so our mouths will know what to do when they finally come together. It really has some beautiful prose in here, and I think that this is something that really makes the book stand out because it is so compact, it is so short, it is not really... It doesn't have a lot that happens, you know, like you really just follow this relationship. Another thing that I really enjoyed about the book is that Flannery is such a universal character. She is every single person in the world that has had a crush. I think that one of the things that the author did that was so well done was the fact that she wrote Flannery as such a real, raw, young person. The way that she behaves towards Anne, especially at the beginning of the book, is so embarrassing and almost pathetic at times, and you're reading it and you're like, why are you doing this, Flannery? You know, don't do this, oh my god. But then you step back and you realize, wait, I did that. I did that when I was in middle school or high school or, you know, college even. I did all of these things that she did because that's what you do when you first meet someone that just like rocks your world, right? And just felt that Sylvia Brownrigg really tapped into what it feels like to like somebody so much for the first time but be so intimidated by them because you think that you're so completely inadequate in comparison to them. The reason why I gave this book 3 stars was because I did have some issues with it. Issues that I think Call Me by Your Name, which is a book that I will be talking about later on in this video, doesn't have. My biggest flaw with this book was the fact that Anne, the character of Anne, who is the woman that Flannery falls in love with, never really becomes a fully realized character for me. She is somebody that I felt could be swapped with any other character and it really wouldn't make a difference. Anne just wasn't a character that I felt was, I don't know, I didn't feel like she was enough. And I know that this is part of a duology. I haven't read Pages for Her, which takes place, I think, 20 years later. But even if there is a duology, I wanted more from the Anne in this book, not the Anne 20 years from now. So I think that was my biggest issue, as well as the fact that I absolutely hated the final line of the book. I think final lines are so important, just like the first line of a book. You know, they really are the thing that you are left with. And I absolutely hated it. I can't believe that Sylvia Brownrigg, after writing such beautiful, beautiful words and beautiful sections in this book, decided to end Pages for You the way that she did. I absolutely hated it. I think that overall this was a good book. It wasn't an amazing book and I was expecting amazing. I had really high hopes for it. I am so glad that I own it. I know that I will go back to it again and again because those beautiful bits are so wonderfully done that I know that I will go back and read them over and over again. Then I read Call Me By Your Name, which if you have not seen the movie trailer for it, please stop this video and go watch it because that movie is going to be a masterpiece. So Call Me By Your Name follows a 17-year-old boy by the name of Elio. He spends his summer in his family's villa in Italy, and every year his dad gets a student to come to the villa and spend the summer with them. The year that we follow Elio in, which is in the 1980s, the student is an American by the name of Oliver, who's 24 years old, and from the moment Elio sees him, he completely thirsts over him. I mean, he just completely falls for this guy, and you follow this relationship. Like I said, really similar themes to Pages for You. It's all about self-discovery. It's all about a celebration of sexuality, a celebration of finding out who you are, of yourself. And I just thought that this book was a masterpiece. It was absolutely amazing. I gave it 5 stars. It was just one of the best books I have ever read in my entire life. So the book is written in this kind of a stream of consciousness way. Elio is reflecting back on his relationship with Oliver and on that summer and what it meant to him. It also has one of the most beautiful coming out scenes between a father and a son that I have ever read. Another thing that I really loved about the book was how you really feel like you're there. The way that the author describes that summer in Italy is fantastic. I also think that the relationship between Oliver and Elio is very realistically depicted. I know that some people have on Tumblr and on the internet been really putting down the film trailer because they say, oh, well, there's a very big age difference, and there is. You know, one of the characters is 17, the other is 24, but it is done in such a respectful way in the book that it really is absolutely no problem. And Oliver is such a fantastic character. He is so fully realized, which was my issue with Anne and Pages for You. A fantastic character. I keep saying fantastic and amazing and wonderful, but that is what this book is. This is one of the best books I've ever read. Even though there is an age difference between the characters, Elio and Oliver really meet at the same level. Not a lot happens in the book. It takes a really long time for Oliver and Elio to get together. The majority of the book really is about what Elio wants Oliver to do, how he feels about him, the dreams that he has about him. A lot of it is about what Elio wants, what he needs, what he's looking for, and you're really inside his head and really inside his heart. So yeah, overall I gave the book 5 stars. I'm not going to talk about it anymore because I want you, if you're watching this, to go ahead and read it. I think it is best if you really dive into this experience without knowing much. Like I said, it really moves me. I thought it was really realistic. It is quite graphic at times. There are a lot of sex scenes, and like I said, you're in the mind of a 17-year-old boy who's super into this older guy and who lusts after him like crazy. If you're 12 years old, don't read this. So yeah, overall I loved the book. I think you can tell by the fact that I keep saying how much I love it, but out of the two, I think that it is the better book, and I cannot wait for the film adaptation. I know it's going to be so wonderful. I got chills when I watched the trailers. So yeah, thank you very, very much for watching, and later, peaches.